Yo, Dave, remember last winter in front of the center? I met this chick named Ginger with hazel eyes and that Mona Lisa smile. Hair that brown in the fashion style, dinky down, looking sweeter than the cherry like holla berries. Nails done up, cuticles cut up.